Hi, my name is Chantal and I'm the youth programmer at the town of Morinville. Over the next coming weeks, I will be posting videos on how we can get through COVID-19. Things such as self-care. Today's video is on how to get along with siblings. A lot of just kind of those wellness videos targeted more towards youth, since I am the youth programmer, but a lot of these topics can apply to all ages. So today, we're talking about getting along with siblings. We know that a lot of you are stuck at home with your siblings, and usually you could have been out at friends, or you'd have that time at school, or maybe some of you guys come to my Loft program, but right now that's not accessible. So right now you're all stuck at home with your siblings. So I have a couple tricks and tips, I guess, more tips than tricks, but things for you to be able to kind of keep that calm, not fight with your siblings, so we can all get through this as smooth as possible. So the first one is to kind of create zones. Knowing when you or your sibling goes to their zone, that is their zone. It's kind of a don't bother them time. Similar to how my dog goes and sleeps in her kennel. When she sleeps in the kennel, everyone knows in the house, kind of like, let her have her time. That's her zone. Let her be. So maybe yours is your room. Maybe it's like when I'm in this half of or when I'm sitting at my desk, you're not to bother me. And kind of, but having that mutual respect so that you will also respect your sibling's zone. The next one is to be very clear with communication. Remaining calm, using some of those calming techniques that you know, such as the smell the flowers, blow out the candle. Smell the flowers, blow out the candle. If you start getting really worked up, making sure that you stay nice and calm, but communication is key. So if something's frustrating you, instead of letting it work down like a spring, so if you imagine a spring, as it gets compressed and compressed and compressed and compressed and compressed, when it finally releases, it's gonna fly. Or if you have a spring that slightly compresses, it's just gonna bounce. What do we want? Do we want your emotions to just fly, or do we want them to just like do a little bounce? We want a little bounce. We don't want them to be as extreme. We don't want you to be that upset. So being very clear with our communication, making sure that if something's frustrating you, to address it. So for example, let's say my sister took my sweater. I'm really upset. This is not something that makes me happy. I want to wear that sweater. Go and address it, but making sure when you're addressing it, you're using I statements. So instead of saying like, give me back my sweater, you mean to hurt me, what are you doing? Like, I hate you, blah, 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 blah. You use I statements. So you can say, I feel blank when you blank. So in this situation, you could go up and say, I feel frustrated when you take my clothes without asking. Moving forward, can you ask before you take my clothes? Another situation where you can use an I statement is, say your sibling moved something on you. They're tidying around the house, but they moved something. You could address them and say something like, I feel blank when you blank, and this is how I want to fix it, blank. So I feel upset when you move my things because I can't find them. Moving forward, let's tidy the house together so I know where everything goes. However that might work for you, for your individual situation, but the communication is really key, so that your spring doesn't fly, it just bounces. Another tip I have is to make sure you are spending a lot of time together, but you're also spending time apart. You're doing a lot of those self-care things. So you can watch in the last video that we posted all about self-care. So taking a bath, maybe calling a friend, taking a mindful walk. You can also find a lot of these self-care ideas and a daily kind of challenge on the Town of Morinville Snapchat page called Morinville Youth. It's guided towards what youth need during this situation. So follow us there, as well as if you're on Facebook, the Town of Morinville Facebook page. Our story will also have a different activity per day. So those kind of give you your you time to really recharge, because if you're just letting that energy get taken away, you're going to eventually hit a wall. So making sure to recharge is so important in times like these. Another way of doing self-care that also really works with siblings is writing down your feelings. Whether this is a letter that you're going to give to them saying, I feel blank when you blank and this is how I want to move forward. Or if it's just kind of a journal for you to say, I feel frustrated today, and kind of track your feelings, track what made you feel frustrated. It's just a good way of kind of having those emotion regulation, and so that you can really identify, hey, I did feel really upset today, and I think this is what caused it. And kind of see if there's any common trends that you can then identify and deal with. And then the last one is something that I've even been using during this whole COVID thing, is to reach out to friends, either by calling or video calling. We're all going through the same thing, and it can kind of feel very overwhelming, but maybe if you talk to a friend, you can realize, hey, I've really missed you, and hey, this is a sucky situation, and hey, I'm just feeling overwhelmed. Let's talk. And those are kind of the main ones. So you can see a lot of the topics that we've talked to today are built on communication. Really talking about what's the issue, how do I want to get through it, creating our zones, creating that mutual respect to get through it, while also identifying what the issues are if anything comes up, and using I statements. I statements are something that I bring up to youth in my programs continuously, and it's something that I hope that will help you guys out. Nobody wants to be yelled at and said, you did this, you make me angry, I hate you, blah, 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 blah. But they will respond so much better if you say something like, I feel blank when blank, and this is how we can solve it moving forward. So that's the video for today. If you guys have any questions or comments or anything like that, leave them down below. I would love to read them. If you guys have any ideas for future videos you'd like me to talk about to get us through all of this, let me know, specifically youth-based issues, as I am the youth programmer, and I would love to kind of address what you guys are needing in this situation. So yeah, I am Chantal, the youth programmer with the town of Morinville, and I will talk to you guys later. Have a wonderful day.